guys, welcome back. I am doing the what's helping, what's hurting for this is the series I'm doing right now. All right. Did I say Cancers or Leo? Leo. I know how I'm doing, but Cancer's energy is still a little bit. You know what? Actually, let's just remove that just a little bit because their energy was just a tiny bit rough. So I'm going to remove Cancer's energy. Let's clear it out. I said clear it out. Clear it out. Clear it out. And then let's go ahead and get started, Leos. All right, Leos, what's helping you? I actually like this series a lot. It's the first time I've done it, and I really am enjoying it. And when I did it for myself, I was like, wow, called out. Called out. Okay, Leos. This is a huge deck, so it's a little bit difficult. Here we go. Soul time. What song am I getting? Stepping time, stepping time, the stepping time. Isn't that from Mary Poppins? I think so, yeah. 40, which would be 4, so maybe 4 is I don't know, important to you? A life path? The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. Yes. One that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Yes. Leos. That is awesome. Yeah, so I feel like right now, you guys are changing timelines. You guys are changing and elevating to a different timeline. And I feel like you guys are allowing not only your mindset, but also your body, and you're allowing that space to allow yourselves to merge smoother. I don't know why they gave me that. I'm gonna say what they said, but that's what I heard. I heard you're lubricated to make a good entry, a smooth entry. Okay, Leo. Oh my gosh. I am a Leo moon, so I'm ruled by the 5th house. So I'm sure that was one of my guys that was like, oh yeah, we think this is funny, which I do think it's hilarious. Yeah, so you guys right now are ready, and you guys are almost like, and I don't believe you're doing it intentionally, and if you are, great. But right now you guys are getting almost a set ready for the, the recordings, the whatever it is that you're doing, right? You guys are getting the movie set ready for to begin filming. That's what I'm getting. And what you're filming is a new movie, meaning a new chapter. Excuse me, but no, they said not a new chapter, a new book. It's a whole new book because you're changing it to a whole new timeline. I just got burps with you guys, or hiccups. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, your body does weird things when you're doing things. You know what I'm talking about. So right now you're getting let me give you an example. When I was finally done with the toxic karmic that I was dealing with, in my mind, the minute that I was done, I was like, cut. Everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you, goodbye. And that to me, it was a wrap. And since then, I have not spoken to them in person. I have not spoken to them, period. They would still reach out, but I have not spoken, because to me that was done and over with. That's done. Thank you to everybody who participated in this book or this movie. Thank you. It's time to go home. We're calling, wrap. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. There's nothing else I need to know from this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I've learned the lesson. I understand. Thank you. next, right? And I feel like, hang on one sec, guys. Sorry, guys. My cat was going crazy at my door. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So I feel like you guys are ready. You guys are getting ready. You guys are allowing things to transition smoothly. I feel like you guys are seeing things very clearly. You guys are allowing things to come the way they need to come. You guys are allowing people to go. You guys are putting a strong boundary. I'm hearing even with your friends, like there's a strong boundary. Like I'm seeing people that used to call you for every single thing and used to vent for every single thing, and it would drain you, right? It would drain you. And I'm seeing that there's been boundaries placed there, like, okay, we can talk, but if you're going to talk about the same thing, like, I can't do this, right? Especially if you work in this kind of business, your friends tend to want to call you all the time because, of course, you know what to say and you know how to make them feel good. Or, oh, can you pull me a card? Like, you can make an appointment and you can get a reading, but just because we're friends doesn't mean you're going to use me or take advantage or call me. I'm not your therapist. Like, I'm your friend and we can talk about it, but after a while, if you're not understanding the lesson, then maybe you need to see a therapist, because I cannot be your therapist. Sometimes and sometimes I feel like a lot of these friends are the same people that you can't even call. You can't. I feel like you don't have a large group of people that you can call to be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, right? Because you just don't feel safe around certain people. And it's not necessarily that they're bad friends, it's just that they don't understand. Sometimes when you have knowledge on something that they don't understand, you're speaking a different language to people, and that doesn't mean that they're bad friends. It just means that it's just a little bit lonely for you until you find a group of people that understand kind of what you're going through. And it doesn't mean, as long as they're not toxic, I don't feel like you should have to cut those people out, right? And I always allow the universe to say, you know what, if they are toxic behind my back, then remove them. And they do, right? So I feel like that's kind of what you guys are going through right now. Let's see what's hindering you. Leos. I keep seeing Cancer. I don't know if you guys have Cancer in your chart, if you're dealing with a Cancer, but I keep seeing Cancer. Stepping time, stepping time, stepping. Okay, they want this one. Authority. That's interesting. You know what? I'm going to put one more. Wait. No. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. Tell me why the word directed is in here. Didn't I just say directed? You are directing now a new movie. That last movie that you guys were directing, where you, whatever trauma, whatever it was that you were going through, whatever lesson, you were directing that movie, but I feel like you were not fully aware that you were directing the movie until about 3/4 of the way in. And then by then, that's when the shift started. Now this time you're in full director mode. You have your chair, you have your little blowhorn, and you're ready, right? This movie, this next book that you're writing, this new movie that you're directing, that is your life, because you are the star, you are the director, you are the writer. You are prepared. You are prepared because you learned. And this time you need to do it with authority. Say it with your chest, right? This time you're going to you need to. They're saying there's a need to say things with your chest. I said what I said, and that's how it's going to be. And remember, when we say things like that, it doesn't mean stomp all over everybody and become exactly what you healed from. No, but it means that you're going to stand up for yourself, that you're going to, fight for yourself and for the things that you want. It's giving, honestly, like, I don't know if I'm reading for somebody who's an actor or an actress, because this is Leo. But it's giving like, when they're like, oh, don't cut your hair like that because people won't like it. I don't give a shit what people like. I mean, obviously, we do give a shit, but I give a shit what I like first. And I'm going to, it's that whole thing with like Rihanna, or like when they say don't dress like this or don't do that, or, a lot of the times those people burn out, become drug addicts, become all of these addictions because they are basically, they don't leave their own lives. They're living in somebody else's lives. And yes, they're getting paid for it. But what good is that money if you're always sick? Let me give you an example. JB, look at him having another meltdown because he doesn't have people that sincerely care about him around him, right? He doesn't have people that sincerely, genuinely care about him. He has people around him that care about their image, who they are with him, who they don't. No, I'm sorry, they just don't. I've seen that kind of relationship time and time again, and it's about how I look next to you, not who you are, genuinely who you are. There's a need to take the lead. Grab your director's chair, grab your bullhorn, grab, I'm even getting, grab your assistant. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Assistants are just important as directors because those are the people that are going to make sure that there's no gluten in your sandwiches. They're going to get your food. They're going to get your drinks. They're going to handle your whatever it is that you need. And the more you love them, the better appreciated they'll feel and the more they'll protect you, right? You never want to mistreat people that are taking care of you because guess what happens? You get spit in your coffee or you get whatever. You shouldn't treat people like shit anyway, but especially somebody that's, even if they're getting paid, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's like saying, oh, well, you get paid, so you should get treated like shit, right? No, no. That's like saying, oh, the client is always right. I fully disagree. The client is not always fully right. The client has an ego and sometimes has to be checked. And so I will check a client if they are being disrespectful in a form that is not warranted, right? Um, so let's check that part, right? But there's a need to take a lead in your own life. You are now fully directing your own life. There's a need to take a stance to advocate for yourself, what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and shout that out to the universe. Say exactly what it is that you need from the people, from relationships, from family members, from your children. Speak with your children and have a conversation of what it is that you need, right? Even with children, it's difficult. Life is hard when you have kids. It's difficult because you're trying not to ruin them, and at the same time, you're trying not to have a heart attack. So there's a need to take a lead in the director's chair because you have been sitting backseat in your own life. And that is what's coming in, right? And at the bottom, we have Miracle. Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street. Maybe. I feel like these readings have been really long. I'm not saying like I don't like them. I just feel like they've been really long for some reason. Oh gosh. I don't know if that's how it feels for you guys. Maybe if time feels like it's just been so dragged on, right? I feel like I've already done like 5 readings. I'm only on my second read. That's so weird. Let's clarify. Oh, soul time. I got two. The Hierophant in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah. It feels like it feels like you were put in to do the monotony and you were forced. It almost felt like you were, which is weird because you're a Leo, but I mean that's not neither here nor there. Because you could be a Leo sun and be a bunch of different things and not even show Leos, right? I've met so many, like, let's say Sagittarius that act nothing like other Sagittarius, and I'm like, that's weird. Um, with Hierophant in the reverse, I feel like there's been a lot you've had to try and fit in to the norm, what people thought society was. And you were tired of that. You were tired of doing that. You're now allowing your freak flag to fly. Say that 3 times. Freak flag to fly, right? And you guys are allowing your inner self to come in because there was a lot of like, what am I trying to say? Conforming to what things were, because it was almost like everywhere you turned, everywhere you looked, no matter what you did, you would get weird looks, or you would get judged, or you would get hated on, or you would get whatever, right? Whatever it is. Or the society deemed it necessary for you to be married, for you to do this, or for you to do that. What it was that you were doing was taboo, or, whatever it was. It was not, you were being pushed to be part of the norm when you are not part of the norm. Just in having Leo in your chart itself takes you out of the norm. But if you're here at tarot, then you are your weird little freaky self, right? We all are. And that's a beautiful thing, because who wants to be in Pleasantville in gray, right? With the Ace of Wands, you weren't feeling any passion for anything that you were in. There was no passion. There was no love for anything that you were doing. You felt iced. You felt iced. Like, have you ever been down one of those neighborhoods where every house looks the same for the next 5-10 minutes? And you're like, what the fuck? Every house looks exactly the same for like a mile, 2 miles. Like, what the hell? Where am I? Do you get what I'm saying? It was like that. It was like you were being pushed and you were trying so hard to just not. And finally, you've pushed out of that, or you're pushing out of that, and you're allowing things. You're allowing yourself, especially, to be exactly who you are and who you were meant to be. And you're allowing that fire to start. And let that weird ass fire start, right? Letting your freaky self be exactly who you are, not giving a shit who has something to say and why. Even when people were thinking that they were doing something different, they were doing exactly what everybody else was doing, right? Yeah. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but I think you guys know what I'm thinking. Let's clarify authenticity. No, authority. Why did I say authenticity? I don't know. Let's see. Authority. Queen of Swords. It came out in sideways. I feel like you guys are starting to speak and vocalize your needs and your wants and how you want things to be. No, I want the set to look like this. I want to get dressed. But it came out sideways, okay? And in fact, it came out reverse and then it flipped sideways. So I feel like you're starting to, but there's a need for this to be fully upright. You need the Queen of Swords to stand up and say, I want this to be blue because I damn well said so. Because that is what I want it to be. And mind you, I'm talking about your life. I'm not talking about you going to some random place and you're just acting a fool because you are acting a fool. Like, that is the Queen of Swords in reverse and the fool. Yeah, no. Like, no, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about in your life, in what you have control over, in what is your sovereignty, in what you have a say, right? Saying, this is what I do. I'll give you an example. Okay. I'll give you an example. I have a cat that gave birth to some kittens a few weeks ago, and a girl came by, and I had 2 kittens left, and she wanted them. And well, she wanted the little girl kitten. When she showed up, she's like, do you still have the boy kitten? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I want to take both. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, cool. And so she takes both, right? And then she says, yeah, my husband said he didn't want any cats. And she's like, but screw him. I work and I make my own money. Why does he get the final say? Boom. Why does he get the final say when she has a full-time job and she helps pays the bills in the house. Why does he get the final say? Does that make sense? This is what I mean. Like, not this specific situation, right? But it's just the situation that I'm talking about. Why does he get the final say? If I want a cat and I'm estoy aportando, I'm contributing to this house, then I get a say. You don't get the last word, right? So there's a need to step up and advocate for yourself and for the things that it is that you want to do in your life. Okay, with the Queen of Swords sideways, the Queen of Swords needs to be upright. With the Devil, defending yourself from people that are trying to take over the director's seat when they have no business even being there. They have no business even being there. They're coming in and trying to, bro, you don't even go here. Why are you trying to take over the director's seat? You're not even in this movie, but you're trying to take over the director's seat? Like, it's giving the ex that won't let go. Do you know what I mean? Or people that are friends that are trying to opinionate on how your life should be. You don't even go in this next chapter. This chapter, I'm traveling all over the world and I'm having schmecks on the beach. And I mean that in both ways, right? This person doesn't even go here. There's a need to fully stand up to the Queen of Swords needs to be upright against the Devil. Fully upright. Fully erect to the Devil. Okay? There is no other way that the Queen of Swords should show up towards the Devil. You need to be in full upright with on guard. Right? Yeah. With the Magician, because you are manifesting the kind of life that you want to live. You have been, look, Six of Wands, victory. And this and Six of Pentacles, yo, you're going to get equal give and take. But you need to be upright against the Devil. The Devil needs to know that he cannot come in, or they cannot come in and try to sit in your chair. Okay? Leos, they cannot come in and try to sit in your chair. That is your chair. Then the Queen of Swords needs to be upright. All right, let's get you some guidance from the universe. Have faith in your dreams. Don't let your past hold you back. Oh my God. Shut up. Shut up, Leos. That's awesome. All right, Leos, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.